video, I spoke about the cost of starting up a broiler production project in Zimbabwe. Okay, so today I want to speak to you about the key things that you should absolutely take care of if you're going to risk that amount of money that we spoke about the last time. One, guys, you need to cultivate a marriage-like relationship with your chick's supplier. Guys, you can't play around with that relationship. Why? Because they will guarantee you quality chicks each time you make a purchase. If things go wrong, they will give you an after sales service that is guaranteed, and they should be able to have the resources. I mean, you're buying 5,000 chicks from these people, it means they are a big supplier in the industry. They'll give you a vet, they'll do postmortem and let you know what exactly is going wrong with your beds. You will need to cultivate a marriage-like relationship because sometimes chicks are in high demand and there is generally a market shortage, especially when we're headed towards the festive season. I can guarantee you in November, mid-November, especially, anyway, let's just say in November, you won't be able to book for chicks, guys. You won't be able to book for chicks that you can place in order for you to go to the market during the festive season. But if you have a marriage-like relationship with your supplier, they will tell you it's time to book. You should put your booking in by this time. Okay? So that is very, very important. The second relationship you should take care of is that of your feed supplier. This one is, it's marriage-like as well. Okay? Why? Because they'll be able to give you feed on consignment. Do you know what that means for a startup or even for an existing business to be able to be given the resources to operate and you don't even have to pay upfront? I didn't say you don't have the money because I'm assuming you have the money, right? Do you know what that means when you're being given feed on consignment? Like you're being given feed. Take care of your production until you go to the market. Some of these big companies offer these terms and conditions, but people don't even know. This is why I often wonder how seriously we take these opportunities or how seriously we take these relationships as black people. And I always talk about black people because that is my kith and kin. Because there is no other thing to do in Zimbabwe than to do business. So I often wonder if young black Zimbabweans that do have access to capital know about this type of opportunities. You should have a very good, a sibling-like relationship, right, of love with your buyers. Take care of your buyers because they are the ones that bring you the money. You may have a good relationship with your suppliers, your good relationship with your workers, but if you do not have a good relationship with the market, then you are doing business in reverse. Okay, the buyers will tell you of your competitors when they are opening up for market, when they are putting their beds in the market, how many beds they have, so you have a general outlook of what the market can look like before you place your next birds. Okay, you need to understand that buyers, even though they are your customers, they can also be your market spies, right? So take good care of them. Do not make false promises. If you promise somebody, I'm going to give you 1,000 beds on this date, make sure that the beds are available. Know that another buyer comes up or a bulk buyer comes and says, can I have 3,000 beds? And you know you only have 4,000, you only have 3,000, and of the 3,000, another 1,000 is for that buyer that you promised 3 weeks ago. And then you give that buyer that's on the ground those chickens, and then when your other buyer comes, you don't have. Let me tell you something, you'll be out of business before you know it. Not because you don't have the money to sustain the business, but you simply have no buyers. This one is a little bit finicky or a little bit tricky. You need to cultivate. I don't know if I should be saying this, but yeah. You need to cultivate relationships with your fellow competitors, especially people of this skin, and there are plenty of them, and I'll tell you why. Remember, I always tell you that they have a monopoly in this industry, like of broiler production in Zimbabwe. There is monopoly, there's no doubt about that. They have access to a bigger market. Okay, so what they do is they actually do buy from small-scale farmers, and then they resell at their farms. Generally what they do is they'll ask you, they'll come to your farm even, Because trust me, they are also hunting for ways to make money. Aside from whatever they are selling, they are also looking at the other suppliers in the market that can supply them with chicken that they can be able to sell. Every dollar counts for them, okay? So they don't see you as a competitor per se, they'll see you as a supplier, okay? Because they have a wider reach than you, a history in that market. You can't beat them. You can't beat them. You gotta join them, okay? You gotta join them to eat a piece of the pie. So this is what you will do. If you seek them out first or they seek you out first, it doesn't matter. Cultivate and nourish that relationship, because these people are important. Because there are days where you are unable to offload all your beds at the same time or to your usual market, and now you need extra off takers. You will approach those people with those farms, okay? And they will sell your beds on consignment. You agree on the price per kg. They'll put their markup, best believe, and they'll give you your money cash. No stories, okay? Because they also want you to remain in business, because for them it's extra cash. If they can make even 10 cents per bed, if they can even make 15-20 cents per bed, and trust me, they make more. They do. They'll make more. Even if it's 15 cents or 20 cents, even 10 cents per bed, it's extra value for them, and they take money seriously. They take money seriously more than we do. And I know for us it's a generational thing which needs to be corrected about financial education and whatever, but hear me, you need to cultivate those relationships with those white people, okay? Those white farmers. And the good thing is they are dotted around Harare, in and around Harare, so it won't be long before you find them if you're really serious. Now, this relationship, we often do not think about it when we're starting. We only think about it's an afterthought, but this is where you actually should begin. You should look for those supervisors that work for these big companies. If you can find supervisors that currently work for Evans Farms, Sable Farms, Drummond Farms, all these other big companies, if you can find one supervisor to come and train you, trust me, you will benefit a lot of knowledge that you wouldn't primarily even get on the internet. Because these people will teach you the practical problems that you will face and how to practically solve them when you're in that business, okay? You need to look for these people as soon as possible, and they're not even expensive. They are farm workers, but they have supervisor positions. They work with the workers, okay? They supervise the workers. These are people that have graduated through the ranks at their farm, okay? And they are workaholics. Best believe they will teach your workers the correct work ethic, how things should be done, and tell you how to prevent theft. And this one is key, guys. You need to know how to mitigate theft from your own employees. So you need to find those supervisors as soon as you start thinking about the project. As soon as you put the money together, you have to think about where are you going to get those supervisors, and they're not hard to come by. I can assure you that they are not expensive. You need to budget at least $200. They'll come in for 2 weeks. Even some of them can give you 2 weeks. They'll come and they'll teach your staff. They'll teach you, because best believe you need to know the ins and the outs of that business. Let's not forget about your own relationship with your business. You will need to be more than committed. There is no cell phone farming when you're doing broiler production, because you not only will you experience theft, but you experience financial losses that will leave you talking to yourself. You will be admitted in a mental institution if you are not careful. You cannot manage your project over the cell phone. Take care of your security. Put those cameras in to mitigate the risk of theft. Make sure there's a constant supply of feed, water, power, because those birds need to eat. So cultivate your relationship with your business. Take that business like a baby. If it's your first 6 months of this business, you better have time to sleep in that place where the chicken in the fowl run. You will be there at night feeding, because if you do not learn about the business, your workers will steal the feed and sell it. You won't even know of the feeding patterns. You won't even have time to study, because they'll be feeding you things. They'll be telling you how things are done instead of you knowing yourself. So at the beginning of the project, when you have those supervisors that come in from those big companies that I spoke about, you will be sleeping in that fowl run. You will need that supervisor to download information into your blanket, into your medulla, okay? Akuvurwa denye o downloadirwa information yese. Denye ngarivurwe o downloadirwa information because this is money. Okay? For 5,000 beds, we talked about you needing 25,000. That is not small change. So if you don't take it seriously, if you don't take the business seriously, how are you expecting your workers to take the business more seriously than you? How are you expecting the business to turn out? You tell people, you go around and tell people, I lost a lot of money. This business doesn't even work when you're the one who doesn't work.